Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
God bless the United States of America, the greatest country ever on the face of the earth. Let's celebrate America's birthday this weekend and be proud to be an American. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, and followed by a Patriot. Come on, Patriots, you haven't called the last couple of days. We need the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning. I love that song. I do not tire of that song with the lovely lady Kate Smith. And God bless America. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course our program is sponsored by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, especially at this time of the year when you're getting out and about, with the best of tires, brake service, front end alignments, you name it, it's all there at all 7 locations. And, of course, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Let's go to the phone line on this Independence Day weekend and have a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, my friend, and call back a little later if you would, please. All right, sir. Hey, it's time for the weather. And the weather, I think it's going to be a Jim Dandy forecast. We'll see in a moment. K&R Rental with Roger and the crew at 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Oh, they've got all the tools. They've got all the equipment. They've got all the knowledge. They've got everything you need right there for both long and short-term rental of equipment to finish any kind of a project. Take care of your lawn, your gardening needs. They've got all the water lines. I mean, they've got it all. Just give them a holler, too, on the landline, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like sunshine and warmer temperatures for the rest of the weekend into the 4th of July weekend. Here's a look at our weather forecast. For today, mostly sunny skies, a little bit of a breeze. We are expecting a high of 80. Tonight, nice and clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit out of the south and could gust up to 20 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 87, partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 55. By Independence Day Saturday, sunny skies, high close to 90. Then looks like mid-80s for Sunday and Monday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you. Bring on the homemade ice cream. Anyway, don't forget our sponsor of the weather, K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And they wish you and yours a great Independence Day weekend. And they're easy to find on that Burley-Paul Highway. Call them if you have questions, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Want to also remind you, too, about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You better believe it. They get there early, too, 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. And it goes without saying, with their knowledge, their skill, their education, and their business for almost 7 decades, serving you with all the heating, cooling, and electrical needs, they are the best. Call them 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley. Caller, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, they announced this morning that Biden had outraised President Trump in donations. Okay, let's look at it this way. You and I probably have not put as much into this campaign as the Biden people because we were sure that President Trump was going to win. Now, I don't know what to do. I sent him a little bit more money, but I don't think that's going to help that much.
When you say him, be more definitive, because some people might misconstrue and think that you're talking about sending money to Biden. I know you are not. It's Trump.
I'm a Trump fan.
Yes.
Through and through.
Yes.
And, you know, it don't take very many big donors. What is the amount that you can only donate at a time?
Oh, you know, you caught me with kind of unaware on that, but I will say this, that I'm concerned. Keith, I am concerned. I thought 3 months ago, when things were flourishing, actually about 4 months ago, back into January, February, I was absolutely convinced that it would be a slam dunk landslide for Donald Trump. And Keith, you're one of my dear friends. I am not feeling that way this morning, because of the liberal sleaze and slime and what's going on with the Democratic left and the promotion money that's being brought forth by the Soroses and other people that want to see a complete transition and downfall of America. Keith, right now this morning, I'm not so doggone sure. If we don't get out and support Trump and this administration, all bets are off.
Yeah. But this new thing that they've come up with, the bounty on these soldiers over in Afghanistan, sponsored by Russia, we're trying to drag Trump into that.
You know, there's going to be so much, and this is just the top part of the ice cream cone. This is going to get worse day by day and week by week leading up to the election in November. The Democrats are going to pull all the corks out of the bottle and let whatever oozes out onto the floor, and we're going to have to step in it. And you know as well as I do, politics is dirty enough, but now with the evil that's going on in this country that's flourishing, and when I refer to the evil, I'm talking about Black Lives Matter, I'm talking about Antifa, I'm talking about everything that can be drummed up, including now the Democrats' idiotic, imbecilic impeachment possibility of Attorney General William Barr. I'm about ready to just lose my lunch over this idiocy that's going on.
How's your blood pressure?
Not very doggone good, thank you.
Well, I'm doing my job.
All right, Keith, God bless you. Appreciate your call. Thank you.
You have a wonderful day.
All right, buddy. And by the way, have a great Independence Day weekend. Thank you very much. Caller, I'll be right there. I've got to pay some bills. I know you understand that, so bear with me. I want to remind everybody about Dino Septic Service. Oh, they do the job that you and I don't want to do. And they got a brand new camera. I'd like to see this, how it works and everything, that they can put down in the pipes and everything and go bloop, 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 and go on through there and see what the problem is and then take care of it. They do all the septic tank pumping and the liquid waste removal and the sewer and sink drain line cleaning and all the backhoe service, water and sewer lines installed, all of this and so much more. Please get a hold of them today, 436-6526 or 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service, the best. I know because they've worked for us. Dino's Septic Service, you call them today. Real quick, Sean, before I take my call, can you please play a little word about the Silver State Stampede?
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, roars into the Elko County Fairgrounds July 10, 11, and 12. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. The action kicks off Friday evening with a delicious tri-tip dinner for just $10. Old West bronc riding, mutton busting, PRCA rodeo action, and the always popular Ring of Fear. Dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. And on Saturday, show your support with Tough Enough to Wear paint.
Round out the weekend with Family Day Sunday evening. The best family entertainment this side of the Rio Grande. The Silver State Stampede, July 10, 11, and 12 at the Elko County Fairgrounds. The Silver State Stampede will be following all of the Nevada governor's directives, Nevada United Roadmap to Recovery Plan, as well as the CDC guidelines. The safety of everyone is our top priority.
Thank you very much, and caller, thank you for your patience. Go ahead, please. You're on the air.
Yeah, just to change gears a little bit, I want to talk about Seattle. I want to say it's about time those Black Lives Matter people got the drubbing they deserve.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I'm going to be very, very forceful in my verbiage that I'm glad that they got ran out of Dodge City, per se.
However, I still don't have anything good to say about the mayor because she didn't take action until she was forced to, but the chief of police, I got to give kudos to.
Yeah, the chief of police was put between a rock and a hard spot, Rodney, and I still think that Democratic Mayor Jenny Durkin, should be escorted out of office right now and given two opportunities, either leave the state or stay there and be ridiculed forever. She is absolutely worthless as a politician and worthless with her lack of values for not only her city but her country.
Of Washington as well.
I couldn't agree more. Inslee and her are both a pair of bookends of Democratic madness. Thank you for your call.
In Seattle, I got to say kudos and God bless.
All right. Rodney, thank you. Appreciate that. Have a great weekend celebrating Independence Day. I totally agree.
You too. Have a good one.
All right, sir. Goodbye to CHOP or CHAZ or whatever silly, frivolous, stupid name you want to call it. It was never supposed to happen, shouldn't have happened, and I'm glad that finally the police were given the green light to go in and clean up this filthy mess with a bunch of rats that were causing nothing but trouble. And what happened in Seattle and New York City and Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Minneapolis, Minnesota can happen here. Yes, it can. Don't be naive and don't think that way. Right now, we have a total disregard and disrespect for law and order. And the police are absolutely at a total unfair position of having their hands tied behind them. And if it means by force that we have to clean up this chaos, then let's get it done. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
My friend.
And the events leading up to her doing this, wasn't it that the protesters went to her front door at her home?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really funny. It was okay for other homeowners in Seattle to suffer. It was okay for other homeowners not to be able to go out and get groceries or leave their home because they were afraid somebody might come in and take over their home. It was okay for everything to happen as far as it was away from the mayor's front door and her front yard. But then all of a sudden, when a bunch of these absolutely stupid protesters showed up in the mayor's yard, things got a little different, Dougie.
It's kind of ironic that, we got to have rule of law now that it affects me.
Yeah.
And wasn't there another mayor out there, was it Tacoma or Olympia, that the protesters went to also?
Yeah.
I think I read something about that.
Yeah. Here's the situation in this country right now, and it's so volatile, and it's so dangerous. And what happened in Seattle should never, ever have happened. It was absolutely a mistake and a absolute faux pas by the governor's stupidity. And the mayor's stupidity. But what's happening right now in this country, like the case in St. Louis, where a husband and wife on their property, with the rights afforded them by our Second Amendment, and they were afraid for their lives, they were afraid for their property, and the black prosecuting attorney in that area is going after them for the possibility of excessive force against what she called a very mild protest. This is something to watch, Doug, because it's going to affect all of us.
Exactly. And how can it be excessive force when he just stood there holding his firearm? on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they pointed it at him deliberately with his finger on the trigger and the safety off. I think he just stood there and told them to keep walking, and they come forward. They will get shot.
It doesn't make any difference, Doug, if he had his finger on the trigger. It doesn't make any difference if he did point it at him. They were scared for their lives and their well-being. And I'll tell you, Doug, you would be, and please don't disrespect me or hate me for this when I say this, but I think you'd be a liar if you said you didn't or wouldn't do the same thing.
Well, I've told my wife I want to put a sign at the end of our driveway. It says, "There's nothing in this house worth dying for."
That's true. But it's your house. It's your domain. It's your property. And I watched a tape, and I tell you something, I want to thank Dale and Jimmy, listeners out there, that they sent me a couple of videos. And I am going to forward one of these videos over to you. And it is so dynamic about a man that is having intrusion into his home, and he's afraid for his life, and he called 911, and the absolutely stupid dispatcher of 911 was asking him questions like, well, what race are the perpetrators? Are they armed? Are they on drugs? Do you think it's really an actual threat? And this man is sitting there going, please send the police, and finally you see in one of the shots, he is being beaten to death because this stupid 911 person that was running 911 had to ask all these stupid questions about how much of a threat he was in.
Yes, exactly. And I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it made me feel when I watched this, and I got to tell you that I don't have time to sit and watch a lot of things that are sent to me, but this was so dynamic about this man in fear for his life. The perpetrators were in his garage, breaking into the kitchen door, coming in, and he said, please, please send the police. And she kept asking these stupid, frivolous questions. And then the next scene, he's being beaten to death, and she's sitting there going, when the line goes dead, oh, well, and she answers another call. This is what is happening in America today.
That person that was on that phone should be fired, should be turf walked out of that place, because they don't care about other people. She should have sent the police and then said, stay on the line and keep me informed on what's happening.
Yeah, there was even questions. I'm trying to remember all the questions she asked, but she said, are they, what race are they? And he said, I don't know. It's dark. I can't tell. And she says, well, we can't send a white officer to arrest blacks. We have to make sure they're of the same. This is the ridiculousness that's going on in this country.
That is very true. And what you said to people about that chop zone, that it can't happen here. It can happen here, yep. And it is happening.
Yes, it is. Did you read the paper? And unfortunately, it was a real small story about Boise Mayor Lauren McLean. I've heard a lot of things about this Boise mayor that we have up in our state capital, and none of them are very complimentary to her. She's very leftist, if you will. Well, she was condemning a counter-protest against the Black Lives Matter, and she made them out to be the bad guys.
Exactly. And she says that in our, how was it she worded that? My wife read it to me.
Well, I'll read the quote to you. I got it right here in front of me. She said, quote, I condemn those who showed up in our community under the guise of protection and instead intimidated, shouted epithets and white nationalist slogans, and in some cases physically assaulted protesters. There is no room for this in our city. Oh, please.
Yeah, and it goes on to say that, she says, in our democracy, this peaceful protest should not be allowed.
Yeah.
And first off, she needs to know what kind of country we have. It is not a democracy.
Yeah, you want to read another letter that'll scare you because of the stupidity of people? read this morning in the illustrious Times News a letter by a person by the name of Ellie Jackson of Twin Falls, and read it. I'm not going to highlight it right now because I don't have time. But the last paragraph is, oh, don't be afraid of Marxist ideology affecting your children. Be afraid of the inaccuracies that you tell them.
What?
Yep, read the letter there, Buckwheat. You'll get as mad as I am. I got to run, old partner. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll bet that gal can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
It'd be dangerous. It would be dangerous. Okay, buddy, thank you.
Hey, everybody, let's do what we can for our senior centers. Let's support them. One of them's got a booth over at the square in Rupert. Stop in, have a cinnamon roll and other goodies that they are selling.
Oh.
Yeah, my mother's cinnamon roll recipe they use.
Your mom had the personality. I don't think of anybody that I've ever been on the radio with. I mean this. Nobody made me more fearful than your mother.
And I know the incident you're talking about.
And we're not going to repeat it. All right, Doug, got to run. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Don't forget Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness sakes, what delicious food. They have gone through all the headaches and heartaches over the last couple of months, and boy, they've emerged victorious to serve you with great breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and desserts, everything. Thomas and Michelle, the whole crew, great, great people to serve you at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and also another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Great food. Nice folks. Denny's Restaurant. Real quick, too, what's going on today at Independence Day celebration over at Rupert's 4th of July? I'll tell you what, with the theme rocking in the USA today, Thursday. Let's take a look. The Sounds of Freedom are going to be the entertainment in the park tonight, and also a featured performer at 7:30 called Kimberly Road, and then also tonight at 6 p.m. Yep, the third annual mutton busting competition at the fairgrounds. Oh my, they've got them coming out of the woodwork. And then tomorrow at 6 p.m., don't forget on Friday, the Firecracker 500 lawnmower race at Minneapolis County Fairgrounds, and then the big parade at 11 o'clock on Saturday, the 4th of July, celebrating the Rupert 4th of July celebration, rocking in the USA. Good folks over there. We're going to have Jason Gibbons on the program later this morning and talking about everything that's going on over in Rupert. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I am going to make this an equal opportunity, what do I want to say here? Negativity zone for those that do stupid things. And we have some Republicans that are now doing stupid things. I have never believed in my whole life of capitulation just to go along to get along. I don't believe in that. If you don't have a set of values and a set of morals that you are going to adhere to, and you go, gee, I better change my ways because somebody might not like that. Well, this is the case now with Senator Johnson from Wisconsin and Senator Langford of Oklahoma. They came out and said that they want to abolish Christopher Columbus Day in favor of Juneteenth. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that on this program, as long as I'm on the air, and I mean this, and I will not back up, I will refer to that day as Columbus Day. We are going to, on this program, adhere to history, whether you like it or not, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent to you. I'm not backing up on this. It's going to stay Columbus Day. I am not going to capitulate to these creeps that are demanding all of the changes and the destruction of names in our history. What's next? Are they going to take away the 4th of July Independence Day? Are they going to take away Thanksgiving? Are they going to go after Christmas? They already have in some places. Enough is enough. And I'm not going to cave into lunatics. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. We've got a gigantic fear program going on, and I learned many years ago growing up where I did, the best way to overcome fear is to get involved and get a punch in the nose and get it over with, and get your back up and fight back.
Yep.
And unless that happens, we've got this younger generation out there that are caving in to Black Lives Matter and Antifa because they are afraid of them, not because they want to join up with them. They're in fear of being attacked by them.
No, I agree with that.
Become part of them to be safe.
No, I totally agree with you that the intimidation of Black Lives Matter and Antifa and other creeps in our society absolutely has taken over to the point where intimidation has taken these people like Johnson, like Langford, and they're thinking, oh, gee, maybe I'd better go along to get along. Maybe I might lose too many votes if I decide to go against them. Well, gee, I like my soft, cushy leather chair. I like wearing my three-piece suit and wingtip shoes back there in the halls of Congress. I better just go along with them. And I don't like gutless people, and they are.
Well, when that happens, when you cave into these people, pretty soon they're going to get to the point they got so much power, they don't need you anymore.
Yep.
So by caving into them, you've lost everything.
How much are we going to give them? You know, Tony, seriously, you're a gentleman that has been around a long time, and you've seen what capitulation and trying to go along to get along costs people all around the world. I mean, whether you look back towards World War II, the Korean conflict, Vietnam, etc. We've got, you put your foot down, and you say like they did at the Alamo, there's the line. There's the line. You can step over it and be damned, or stay here and fight for what's right.
Well, we've got George Soros, we've got China, and we've got the Democratic Party aligning to bring the United States down to their knees.
That's right. That's right. And you're right, but it's unfortunate that you're right. But that's what's happening. And I totally agree with you.
See it. Well, how do you stop it? You got these people that are thinking about their own bank accounts, their own power, their own pocketbooks, and they're not looking out for people like you and me.
I guess I'm shocked this morning when I see the so-called polls showing that it's a slam dunk now for Biden. I see the stories come out that say, all the big bettors in Las Vegas and everywhere else are saying, why, it's going to be Biden for president. How in the world could America accept something like that? It came out yesterday that he absolutely is adhering to a much higher tax plan. This is Biden I'm talking about. He wants to raise all taxes, and he wants to absolutely put corporations on notice in this country that he's going to get a lot more of their money. Well, where does that put us, Tony? It puts us back in the stages of Obama when corporations were folding their tent and leaving to go overseas, and we're going to see the same idiocy take place again. You talk about deja vu. Here we go.
Well, the economy is going to go down the tubes, and when that happens, we'll have more rioting, more unemployment, and it's going to be the same stuff we got right now.
Bingo! You and Mary take care. God bless you. Have a wonderful Independence Day weekend. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, this is just absolutely stupid. I mean, to tell everybody, even before, and God help us all, he doesn't get elected as president, but Biden, I'm going to raise your taxes. Yeah, we're going to raise and get more money for this and more money for that. We're going to make you pay for it, and then going after the corporations and everything. You know what that's going to do to the stock market? Do you know what it's going to do to savings and investing? Have you heard a toilet flush? Don't forget Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Napa location with all the equipment you need to get all the jobs done. Whether, the lifting and the digging and the pushing and the carrying. Oh, I'm telling you, they've got all the bobcats, all the trenchers, all the scissor lifts. They got it all. And the Doosan equipment, the wheel loaders and the excavators. Great financing programs and lease programs. You better stop in today. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts. Burley, Twin Falls, and Napa. Caller, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And this guy that you got running the board over there, he's doing a good job.
Well, he is, and he's not just a guy. His name is Sean.
I know. Man, but he's a good guy.
Yep.
Apparently.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, what I was going to say is what Biden is trying to do is to water down these corporations. Now, who owns these corporations? It's the working people of America. And are you going to condemn the guy that lives next door to you because he works for that corporation?
I don't know why.
He's the one that has stock in it.
Keith, just a minute. What was happening? What was happening last fall in October, November, December, and January? What was happening in this country? Quickly, tell me. I haven't got a lot of time.
Everything was going out of sight.
Everything was going out of sight in a positive way, right?
Yes.
Okay. What was the stock market doing?
It was skyrocketing.
Okay. And the profits and the money that was changing hands, it was absolutely doing what to the economy?
It was bolstering the economy.
Okay, so why do you want to take a wet blanket?
Money in the stock market can see where they were going to have more money.
Yep. Why would anybody be so dumb, but the Democrats are, to take a huge wet blanket and say, we're going to raise taxes, we're going to go after corporations, we're going to get their money? Why? I mean, you can see the door closing, and it says on the door, idiots only. That's where Biden and his crew are.
Yeah, I don't know who could ever think that raising taxes has ever done anybody any good.
And you know why they want to raise, Keith, you know why they want to raise the taxes. You're a sharp guy. They want the money for their stupidity in green energy. They want the money for a one-size-fits-all health care plan that's going to sink like the Titanic. That's what they're aiming at.
Let's put it in perspective that everybody can understand. You have a charity come along, somebody who's had problems and, has cost them a lot of money, and everybody comes forth and helps that person to get back to who they should be.
Yep.
That's what it would all be all about. That's when a tax like that would be appropriate. But just to raise it, to give it to some fat cat, no.
Well, I tell you what, I'm just absolutely stunned, and I cannot wait. I'm thinking that next Monday, I believe it is, we have Dr. Gerard Romero coming back on. He's going to be talking about this. But to think that Biden is in the lead now, they say in many, many places in double digits, well, there's a problem. Trump had better gather up his resources. Trump had better learn to gather up all the cattle and start heading for Dodge City, because we cannot allow this to happen. Keith, I got to run. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You bet. Bye.
All right. I just don't understand. When you look at the overall cosmetic of the Democratic Party, with really no platforms that are geared for you and I and the betterment of our lives. And Biden comes out and says, I'm going to raise taxes, boy, I'm going to get that money. And then you've got stories, and I've got them right here in my hot little hand, what to expect in 2021 if Biden is elected. Oh, goody. It goes right into the Green New Deal. And listen to this. They estimate, I can't even fathom this, They estimate, from a conservative nonprofit group, Competitive Enterprise Institute said, the average per household cost of implementing the Green New Deal would be $75,000 annually on a permanent basis. Find a cave and get some buffalo dung, because that's the only way you're going to stay warm. Caller, good morning. Talk to me, caller. I'm not going to wait for you.
Sorry, Jeb.
Well, come on, Randy. What do you got?
Well, I was just going to say about the polls. The only person that seems to believe him is on this station later in this evening is Ben Shapiro. And then the other day, even he said that if they're true. So Rush Limbaugh doesn't believe it. Lamaro doesn't believe it. There's tons of others who don't believe it. They want to depress us. They want us to be worried. They want us to stay home. They don't want us to go out and be proactive. They just soon we kill each other, and they'll take over. There's no question. Now that the left has exposed itself for what they really are, and these governors and these mayors, and we already knew that the federal, but, they said, the gloves are off. They have nothing to hide. But what scares me is like you were talking about yesterday with Dave Digo. And I didn't know about Mr. Braun, the senator from Indiana. And then I found out this morning, and I said, that gutless... And see, this is the same thing we're getting from Crapo and Risch and Simpson.
There you go. Randy, have you ever known me to not take a call from those people? I mean, if they call in, I make allowances for time, whether it's Crapo, whether it's Risch, even Simpson, Fulcher, and the governor, anybody. I make allowances to get them on the air so that they can get their message out to their constituents and the public. But they won't call. They don't take the time to let the people know what they're doing. And in the case of our national representation, what the heck are they doing?
Nothing. There's even slippage in the state of Idaho. And, just quickly, the mayor of Boise, she is a straight-up communist. She hired the police chief from Portland, Oregon. He's done a great job. And see, they all think that Boise's going to be Portland and Seattle, and then they're going to decide everything in our state.
Yeah.
And, you and I, out here in hinterland, we will no longer have a voice.
We'll see about that. Randy, God bless you, man. And please, to you and your family, a great Independence Day weekend. Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Pray for our country.
Amen.
Be proactive, the good people.
Amen. Thank you very much. Time for the weather. I would love to have that mayor of Boise on my program. I'm going to try to set that up. Mayor Lauren McLean, and just ask her. I mean, I've talked, and I'm not going to mention names on this because I don't have their permission yet, but I've talked to many, many people involved in politics. I've talked to many, many people involved in other activities and occupations that live up there. And when you mention her name, the mayor of Boise's name, they look you in the eye, raise their eyebrows, and wrinkle their nose in unison because she is not a very good mayor. Right now, it's time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. The lovely Christine Pickup and her staff over there helping your hearing health. Absolutely. You got a little diminishment in hearing? Don't put it off. Get a hold of her today and her staff. They can serve you. They're right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to call, 312-0957. I'll say it again, 312-0957 for the best of your hearing health. Contact them today. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like sunshine and warmer temperatures for the rest of the week and into the 4th of July weekend. Here's a look at our weather forecast For today, mostly sunny skies, a little bit of a breeze. We are expecting a high of 80 tonight, nice and clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit out of the south and could gust up to 20 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 87, partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 55. By Independence Day Saturday, sunny skies, high close to 90, then looks like mid-80s for Sunday and Monday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
Gina, thank you very much. Mount Harrison Audiology providing expert diagnostic testing combined with the best technology and all their knowledge to serve your hearing health. I urge you to call them today for an appointment. 31209. I bit my tongue. 3120957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Oh, that'll hurt for a little while. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You want to, this cancel culture allowed to flourish is so dumb. Did you hear, just to show you, with all the statues that are being torn down, and all the signage, and all the name changes, and everything else, oh, we don't like that, Well, what about the rest of us that do? We're sitting here not doing anything. Yeah, there might be a brawl or two in the street. But to let these kooks and crackpots and these evildoers just tear down things and destroy them, no, we can't let that happen. But now on the side of being almost totally idiots, Boston University, listen to this, I am not making this up. Boston University mascot, the dog is named Rhett. Well, that upset a lot of the Black Lives Matter people, and they are demanding a culture change, cancellation of the dog's name to be changed, because they are assuming, and I have no idea what that's... wait a minute, we'll get to that in a moment, but thank you. That's all right. It just about blew my head off, but that's okay. But anyway, the dog's name is Rhett. And the Black Lives Matter people and others, oh, we can't have that dog's name Rhett. Why? Because that was the character name of Clark Gable in Gone with the Wind. Rhett Butler. This just should amplify how doggone dumb the left is. A dog's name is Rhett. I know many people's names that are Rhett, R-H-E-T-T. And now are all these people going to have to change their names for fear that Black Lives Matter might not like that? Oh, please! So they're demanding the mascot name at Boston University be changed. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? Why are we caving in to these absolute lunatics? They don't like this name. You got to change it. Well, we don't like this. We got to take that down. No, you can't have that. A minority of people that absolutely are warped to the left degree are telling the rest of us what we can and can't have. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. So they need to explain to me how changing that dog's name is going to help people.
I can't hear you, Doug. I'm going to have to ask Sean to turn you up just a little bit. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Say that again, please, quickly.
They need to explain to me how changing that dog's name is going to help society and people.
Well, if you're from the liberal left, you can't give an explanation that way because they're not smart enough, Doug.
Well, they have no legs to stand on.
That's right.
They have. That's why they want to do all this, is because they do not have an argument on how they can make America better for the American people.
Where does it stop, though? I mean, come on, Doug. I don't care what the history of any area is, whether it's Rupert, whether it's Burley, whether it's Boise, whether it's, I don't care where it is, Lewiston. There's always going to be a history. There's always going to be a character in that history of something that they did, were not perfect by any means, and they're going to go after it.
Exactly. These people need to look back in their life and to see if they were perfect and never made any mistakes. And if they did make mistakes, what happened? They learned from them.
Yep.
They become a better person.
I find it hard for me to sit there and respect some. Did you see the absolute idiot that was parading almost naked in front of the police in New York the other night? And he didn't act like he had all of his blocks in a row that spelled sanity. And this is the kind of creep that's out there preaching about how they want changes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they get these... Whoever is paying these people, the money needs to run back and find out who it is, and let's do something about it, because they are being paid to do this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if we the people don't stand up soon, it's going to be too late. We are about ready to be pushed into the abyss of pure hell and evil, and we'd better stand up.
Yes. And you ask what it's going to take to stop this? It's going to take Americans, patriots, people that love this country like our president does, who is doing a job for nothing and being blindsided by lies all the time.
Yep.
And yet he is still standing up for this country. He needs to be an example for all Americans that love this country. He needs to be an example, and let's do like our president. Stand up. Don't care what they do.
There you go. There you go. And I'm going to keep harping at them every day that this has got to stop. I mean, we are becoming so naive and so cowardly as a nation that we can't stand up. Like those two senators, Johnson of Wisconsin and Langford of Oklahoma, wanting to abolish Christopher Columbus Day in favor of Juneteenth because they want to go along to get along. I just am at a loss of words with my hatred for them.
Yes, and did you hear about the elk statue in Portland?
Yes.
That was this, I don't know what all they did to it, but what race was that statue offending?
Well, I got to think about that one for a while. I tell you what, I've got something special here I got to take care of, Doug, and I got to get a commercial in first. And every hour as we end the hour, thanks to Sean's help over at the station, we're going to have a little patriotic tribute for our Independence Day. So I got to run. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with ready for summer travel. Ready, get set, bang, you're off. Oh, wait a minute, you better not leave yet. You got to check your tires. Oh, you need new tires for your car, pickup, SUV, horse trailer, boat trailer. They've got all the great summer travel tire buys. Say that fast 5 times at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, including a free pre-trip safety check. I said it right that time. And I urge you to stop in and see these good folks today. Leaving tonight, leaving tomorrow morning, well, make sure you get in there first at any one of the 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They are there to serve you. James in Buell, Dan on Pole Line in Twin Falls, Lane in Rupert, Mike in Jerome, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, and the Twist family over in Paul, and my buddy Trent on Overland in Burley. Yep, they're there to serve you. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. This is America's birthday, Independence Day, 4th of July weekend, and I will not back up, and we're going to salute it. And right now, thanks to Sean helping me over at the station, we're going to have every hour some patriotic music, this hour with the late, great John Wayne. Well, welcome back, as I have a little frog in my throat all of a sudden this morning. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh boy, all 7 of them working really hard to help you. If you're leaving on a road trip, they've got the best in tires. Very safe, clean environment at all 7 locations. Along with our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Sean, could we please have a good word for the Silver State Stampede?
The thunder of hooves, the thrill of the crowd, family entertainment at its best when the Silver State Stampede roars into Elko July 10, 11, and 12 at the Elko County Fairgrounds. Bring the family and enjoy 3 big days of PRCA rodeo action, along with the Old West bronc riding, mini bull riding, the Copper Riders, mutton busting, the world-famous Ring of Fear, and dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. Get your advance tickets today at J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, Roy's, and the Elko Chamber of Commerce. The best in the West is waiting for you at the 2020 Silver State Stampede, July 10, 11, and 12. Don't miss it. For more information, visit us at silverstatestampede.com. Silver State Stampede will be following all of the Nevada Governor's directives, Nevada United Roadmap to Recovery Plan, as well as the CDC guidelines. The safety of everyone is our top priority.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Great fun. Great rodeo. One of the best in the entire Northwest, let me tell you. Want to remind you, too, about our friends over at Hanson Mortuary. Hello, Joel Heward. Hello, family and staff, serving you and your family. And they live there, and they have very flexible hours to make sure they're there to serve you and provide the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort. And remember this, always upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Joel Heward and, like I said, the staff are there to serve you, and they urge you to check on the pre-planning of funerals to help alleviate a lot of the stress to your family. Call them at 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we kind of skip along the barrel pits to the main entry door of the Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce, and the CEO and president of the chamber, Penny Main. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm peachy good, fine.
Well, good.
Okay.
Hey, we've had a great time the last couple of days over in Rupert. Been lots of fun. Had the opportunity to be part of the Christmas lighting breakfast on Tuesday morning, and then last night we had a great program in the park. The patriotic themed presentation last night. Zeb, it was absolutely extraordinary.
Great.
I tell you, I always feel so blessed to be part of that every year, and especially now at a time that we're in, to be able to honor our veterans and pay tribute to America. I tell you what, they pulled out all stops last night. It was absolutely extraordinary. I was so privileged to be part of that. So that's the really good news. RupertForth.com is the place to go. I know they've got mutton busting tonight and lawnmower races tomorrow night, and Saturday's the big parade. They've got a new parade route, by the way. We do have some of those parade route maps if you need them here at the chamber. They're extending it a little bit just to kind of practice social distancing and trying to respect that. So at any rate, lots of fun still in Rupert for the next 2 or 3 days over there. I do want to let everybody know that we've talked about it a lot here the last month or so. As many of you know, we moved our golf scramble. It is still set to go September 2nd. We want to thank everybody who stepped up already to help us sponsor this big event. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year. Now more than ever, the Chamber needs your help too. So if you'd like to be part of that, again, still a handful of small sponsorship opportunities, a handful of teams left. People have really stepped up. So if you want to play golf September 2nd, have a really good time, please give us a call here at the Chamber, 679-42 679-4793. There was also some question about the Wake and the Snake. Well, it's going to quake, and that's the Snake River, July 11th, here in just about 10 days or so, Saturday, July 11th at the River's Edge Golf Course Marina, sponsored, of course, by Idaho Water Sports. They do a great job every year. I know people were really looking forward to this. It is going to happen July 11th. Just call Idaho Water Sports 678-5869. And again, the good news is, as you know, when we're visiting every Thursday morning, we support our members, and we're so grateful for all of them. The Minidoka County Canine Hero Golf Scramble set for July 24th. They need some teams. They've got their sponsors, but they need some teams. 434-2390. If you love golf, there's a lot of golf going on. The good folks at the VFW will be hosting their golf scramble as well, September 19th. And don't forget, bingo is still on with the VFW every Saturday night. You could win up to $600 in their cash jackpot, so that's lots of fun. And just lots of great things happening throughout our area as we kind of try to get back to some semblance of normal. But it is good to see people out and about, and again, last night was just the best of the best, and people had such a great time, and I think people really needed to just, again, celebrate America and see their friends and neighbors. So, yeah, we're all about connecting communities to our members, and if there's a way we can help you, please let us know. As you know, we're open typically Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we will be closed, however, by tomorrow to celebrate the holidays. So we're down tomorrow, but Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Check out our Monday Motivator. That's our email news blast every Monday. It goes out to about 800 people. Keeps you abreast of all the things that are happening in our communities and how you can get involved in the Chamber of Commerce. 679-4793. That's our number. There you go.
Wow.
That's my pitch. And God bless America.
You know, I absolutely sat here and I listened, and there was not a verbal faux pas in the entire reading that you had. That was fantastic.
You should see the bags underneath my eyes, however, this morning. It's not a visual you'd want to see, but it's, yeah.
You know, Penny.
Had a couple of long days around here, but it's been really fun. And, you know, Zeb, like you know, we remain so blessed, really, to live in this area.
Yes.
And when I see these events come to pass, you know, and see people really step up and enjoy each other and do good for our community, you know, I'm just so proud of this entire area. And again, as I know you feel the same way, it's a privilege to live here.
Oh, amen.
So grateful. By the way, speaking of fireworks, yes, there is fireworks in Burley Saturday night. We've had lots of phone calls about that too, and I was remiss in not mentioning that. But we've got fireworks coming Saturday night, so be ready. And the folks who live in South Burley who are letting off their fireworks at 11 o'clock at night, could I just put it out there that gee whiz? Okay. Anyway, it's been hard to kind of get to sleep at night. I don't know how that works, but anyway, I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, Penny. Hey, listen, we couldn't have the little segment without a little fun to wrap things up, and just to remind everybody about our little trivia that we have every week. You are...
The score again?
Pardon me?
The score again.
You have won 7, but then on the other side of the coin, you've lost 9.
Okay.
So...
All right. So let's see if we can make it 8 and 9.
Okay, you are. I have that much faith in you. Who are the faces on Mount Rushmore?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, good.
Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington.
Yes.
And George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and my history teacher in high school, if he knew I missed this. I can't remember what the third one is.
Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson.
Was it Thomas Jefferson?
Yep.
Truly, I was going to say that. I was going to say Thomas Jefferson, but okay, dang. Well, so now we're 10-7, right?
Yeah, you 7 and 10.
Close
though.
Yeah, it was real close. It's almost like taking a pin out of a hand grenade and being almost in the ability to blow up a wall. Yeah, you bet.
Well, I thought he was doing pretty good, 75%. That's not bad.
Oh, yeah, close in hand grenades and horseshoes. Listen, I want to wish you, and I want to tell you something that is very serious. You have done an outstanding job as the CEO and president of the Chamber of Commerce. There's a new feeling of vibrancy, a new feeling of, boy, they're on top of it over there, and I just want to compliment you on everything you do. And I hope that you and yours and all the people listening have a very wonderful Independence Day weekend.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for bringing tears to my eyes this morning. But truly, I say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We're only as good as the people who surround us, and I am really surrounded by some pretty extraordinary people, and I am so grateful for that. And again, thank you for all you do, not only for me, but for the Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce, because you do a lot. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate that as well. So, we're all in this together.
Go make some homemade ice cream.
I will do that. You and the DN have a great 4th of July, and we'll talk next week.
All right, Penny. Thank you so much. The weekly Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce report with CEO and President Penny Main. Thank you very much. Great place to eat. I know one. Oh, I keep telling you this every day. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. You go in, sit down at a table. They hand you the menu, and you go, how am I going to make a decision with all this wonderful, delicious food? It's hard to make a decision. All the breakfasts and lunches and dinners and desserts and everything else, it's fantabulous. You're going to really love it at Denny's Restaurant. And the people are so service-oriented, helping you. America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Want to also give a great big shout out to our friends over at Let's Ride. Oh, get your motor running. Absolutely. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. And the number to call, 436-4771. New hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 2. I believe Let's Ride is going to be closed tomorrow and Saturday for the observance of Independence Day weekend. Well, you better get in there today then. By golly, hurry. And don't forget they've got all the side-by-sides and the four-wheelers, everything, all the accessories, and a great service department at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Call her real quick, and then I've got to go to my interview. Go ahead.
Yes, I was thanking the Lord that she didn't say President Obama. Mount Rushmore.
Jerry, thank you. I got to run to my next guest, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, let's head on over to a man that absolutely gets out of bed every day and goes, hurry, hurry, hurry to get everything done. Nick Greenwell with not only Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, but also Elite Fitness. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Mr. Zeb. Hey, I just cannot tell you how excited I am at getting my hands on that shoulder here in a couple of weeks and creating as much pain as humanly possible.
For my wife?
No, for you. Shoulder.
It's not my shoulder, it's hers.
Oh, well, I have to be nice to her. I don't. That makes me less eager because I was really gonna put the screws to you.
No, I tell you what, you didn't know that, and I should have let you down the primrose path because it's her shoulder, not mine, and you're in a heap of trouble right now.
Your sweet wife.
Now, I tell you what, she needs a little help there, and you're the man for the job. And I tell you what, all of you folks over there at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, I mean, you've studied. What's the amount of people that you have there as far as physical therapists?
You know, I've got myself and then my son Josh, who has a doctorate in physical therapy, and then we have 4 physical therapist assistants that have been certified for a number of years. Jeff Jensen in particular has been here for, good heavens, probably 17, 18 years. So, yes, all kinds of experience over here and lots of bodies. So it's been nice. We've continued to grow over the last few years, just based on referrals from doctors and just being here for a long time, and hopefully by word of mouth and good customer service, and we're super blessed and super happy to be what we're doing here.
You know, when you talk about Jeff, I mean, he's been there so long that he's the only one that unlocks the door at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with a cane and gray hair. I'll tell you what, he's been there, done that.
He has, yeah. We're super happy with my staff. I just can't imagine being any luckier with the folks that we have here. Again, they're hometown people. They grew up here. They're involved in the community, and so, like I say, I think that helps to have local people that care for one another, and have a deeper tie to the community, and a lot of compassion. And it's not just a paycheck. It's not just just not punching the time clock. We've got people here that really truly enjoy what they're doing, and have true compassion and empathy for the folks that they're working with.
I agree. I'm going to say this because here we are already July 2nd, and summer is fading fast, but I can't think of a better time to exercise, get fit, and be ready for the fall, the colder temperatures, and then I hate to say this, but the slippage on the bad roads and the sidewalks. Now's the time to get ready, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and people are eager now. A lot of times during this time of year, people are a little reluctant, right? Because it's the spring has been good, they've been out, they've been doing their thing, but with everything nationally, with the COVID crisis and everything, people have been kind of cooped up and locked down. And I tell you what, this is a little anomaly this year. People are so eager to get out and do things and be active, and so we've had a lot of people come in just to get started on. Even for a one-time visit, to be assessed and just get started on an exercise program that's safe and adequate for them. Maybe they've had an issue or two in the past that we need to be cautious of when creating a program, and so they've just asked for a little bit of assistance in getting started on something, and to sit down and talk about goals, whether it's they want to lose a few pounds, or they just want to become more flexible so they can hike the hills a little more, or better endurance, or whatever it is. Balance-wise, we do a lot of balance things here. Between here and Elite both, I'm seeing people over there a couple of days a week, and I'm getting busier and busier every week over there. So we've got a lot of room to roam. But yes, absolutely, people are very, very starved of activity and getting out right now. And so we've done a ton of consultations with folks, just helping them kind of get pointed in the right direction and making sure that they're safe, and that we take in any of their medical history into consideration when putting together a program for them.
Now, talking about Elite Fitness, I want to highlight a little bit. I had a call after last week's show, and some folks evidently are not sure where it is and what your times of availability are. So I want you to highlight that right now.
You bet. So it is a 24-hour facility. So if you're a member, you have a key, an electronic key, and you can get in and have access anytime, 24 hours a day. I have a receptionist sitting at the front desk between 11 and 6, and we're even trying to extend those hours to earlier in the morning. And so if you need help signing up or anything like that, she's there from 11 to 6 Monday through Friday. We're also just finishing a new website any day now, where people can get on and sign up online and look up hours and answer questions and do all that kind of stuff. And myself personally, I'm seeing patients over there every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon from 1 to 5. And so if people have specific questions for me, or if they have a specific question about an injury or something, I'm there at that time and usually available for a quick consult or something like that. Best thing is to just give the front office a call and say, hey, I'm going to pop in at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Would it be possible to have Nick look at my back or my knee or answer a question or something? And we can do that at either number. The Elite number is 208-678-2155, and my Burley PT number is 208-678-1191. And both facilities can help you with a range of time or something.
It doesn't make any difference how old you are. I honestly believe this. You want to get in shape, you want to stay healthier, a good workout program every day or every other day or maybe 3 times a week, man, it's beneficial.
The old adage, use it or lose it is it really is true. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to abuse it, but gentle activity, lubrication, those joints are just like the joints on your car. They can need a little grease, they need a little lubrication to kind of just keep you going and moving down the road. And then, just light stimulation of the muscles. And again, you don't have to go lift heavy weights. You don't have to do, throw tires around and do all that stuff you see people doing. we can get you set up on a low resistance, kind of a maintenance program to just kind of keep you going in life and being able to play with your grandkids or, get out and go for a hike or catch a fish or whatever it is. But, yes, you need to do something to try and just, stay upright and moving.
I'll tell you what, if I were you this next week, I'd be real careful because Deanne's got a lot of Cherokee in her, and I'm going to tell you that old Tommy Hawk might be coming at you.
All right, that's fair enough. I'm actually I get to go play for a week. We're having a family reunion up in Island Park next week, so I'm hopefully going to be well rested and have caught plenty of fish and eaten good food that I'll be able to deal with that on the day that she comes in.
All right, listen, let's tell everybody, first of all, about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, where and the times, and then also how they can make an appointment, and then Elite Fitness. Go ahead quickly.
You got it. So Burley Physical Therapy, I've been here for, 21 years now. Holy cow, you can see it in my beard, too. We are at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2, and so a lot of people come to the building and say, where are you? You got to come around back. So there's a big gray brick medical office building there. Dr. Crane, Dr. Henry, there's an allergist that is there. So just come right around the back of that building, and I've built an extension on back there. And you'll see a big stone rock out front that says Burley Physical Therapy, courtesy of my father way back in the day.
Yes.
And our number over here is 678-1191, and we're here from 7 in the morning until 5 to 6 at night, depending on the day. Stop by or give us a call anytime, and we can sure answer questions and get you set up on a program. And then over at Elite, we're at 1200 Oakley, and so that's on the corner of Oakley and Main, the kind of kitty corner from the old Burley Theater and across the street from La Hacienda, the Mexican restaurant, formerly the Chadwick. And, again, we're 24 hours if you're a member, and 11 to 6 if you want to speak with somebody in person, pop in, and we can help you with that. Hopefully we'll have some more hours here soon. And you can give us a call at 678-1191 or look us up on Facebook at Elite Health Club Burley, and we'll hook you up, get you started on a program. We've got a ton of new group fitness classes. We've got Silver and Fit classes for folks that are getting up there in age and just want a little low-resistance program that kind of helps with their balance. Or you can come and learn how to hit a punching bag in the evening with our mixed martial arts guys. We've got a lot to offer, and come see us.
I'll tell you what, Nick, I want to extend to you and your family and your staff a great, fun-filled, safe Independence Day weekend, and we will talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Zeb. Take care.
All right, God bless. Nick Greenwell with Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, along with Elite Fitness in Burley. Want to remind you, too, about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, my. They are very dedicated and responsive to all your needs, whether it's life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, whatever. Todd and the crew are there to serve you. Highway 24 in Rupert, right there on the curb as you go into town. Can't miss it. Give them a call. Make an appointment. Let them help you. 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Great folks, I can attest to that. I know some other great folks. By golly, I got to talk about our friends at Patterson's Electronics. Hello, Curtis and Lorena. How are you? Don't forget, when you go in and purchase anything at your electronic needs at Patterson's Electronics, a percentage of the proceeds is going to go towards you pick your favorite charity, and the top two charities are going to get a $500 check from Patterson's. Holy moly! That's going to be happening around July 15th, so stop in and check that out today. They've got everything, all your electronic needs, home theater systems, video surveillance cameras, complete sound systems, all the TVs, a great selection. They're open Monday through Saturday 9 to 6. Don't forget, stop in at 421 East Main in Burley, Patterson's Electronics, serving you. Real quick, I want to mention, before I go any further, to our guest, 4th of July celebration going on for Independence Day weekend over in Rupert, and some of the great merchants that are saying, come on over and enjoy. And they include Haskins Insurance Service at 629 Fremont Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-4141. And they thank all their customers for their business over the last 20 years. Your partner in insurance protection. Don't forget Haskins Insurance Service in Rupert. Dixon Oil. I mean, every time there's an event coming up, they're there to sponsor it. And that's Dixon Oil, 602 South 2nd in Rupert. Number to call, 436-6609. They've been in business since 1951. They know what's going on. All the gas and the oil and the propane for heating. I'll tell you, Daryl and the crew, they wish you a very big, very fun-filled weekend. Be safe over the 4th of July. And Haruza Insurance at 723 South 3rd Street in Rupert. Don't forget they can quote your commercial, business, auto, home, life, and health insurance today. Get a hold of them, 436-4420, Haruza Insurance in Rupert. And last but not least, Snyder's Surplus at 116 South, 200 West of Rupert. And they got a slogan that says, every day is a treasure hunt. How true. They've got everything, all the military surplus items. They've got pickups and trailers and firearms and ammunition and backpacks, bags, pouches, and they've got cabinets, toolboxes. What are you waiting for? Every day is a treasure hunt at Snyder's Surplus in Rupert. Thank you very much. Let's go to the phone line right now. And I have not had a chance for years and years to visit with this guy. He's a good friend of mine and used to be connected with the College of Southern Idaho, excellent in agriculture, and here he is now, the director of the Minidoka County Museum, Mr. Rick Parker. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm just great.
You know,
I have to correct one thing. There's several directors. I'm one of 6 directors.
Well, I stand corrected, and I know that you've got a great band of directors working over there.
There's a good band of them, a good bunch of them.
Well, tell me about life with Rick Parker over the last 30, 40 years since we've known each other. What have you been doing?
Well, let's see. I left the College of Southern Idaho main campus in 2004, and I had an opportunity to work for the National Science Foundation for about 7 years. It was a great experience. I was based out of Kirkwood College in Iowa, and I would fly out there about once a week, and I had a great opportunity to look at various community colleges around the United States and how they handled their ag programs, and great opportunity.
Wow.
And then during that time, I continued writing some textbooks and started my own little publishing company with some textbooks, and then I went back to college, and I teach part-time over at Burley Center, the Minneapolis CSI Center.
Holy smokes. Well, how did you get involved as one of the directors of the Minidoka County Museum?
Well, that's kind of interesting. I really enjoy teaching at the Minneapolis Center, excuse me, because I have all age groups of, I have students from 18 years old to sometimes older than me. And I had a student who was in one of my environmental science classes, and he contacted me one day because we had a common interest in history, because I guess we were both older, and his name was Jim Grisanti, and he's the president of the Minidoka County Historical Society, and he asked me if I'd like to be on the board. So I thought it sounded interesting. I like history, and the Minidoka County Museum revolves around, a lot of it revolves around how the agriculture developed in our area here, so I enjoy that.
Rick, being involved in agriculture, and I just have the utmost respect for your abilities and your knowledge. I would venture to say that a lot of people probably really don't understand or comprehend the vastness of what took place here for the establishment of our canal system and the cattle and the sheep and everything else over the years. I'll bet you there's a lot of history that a lot of people just don't understand.
No, I think you're exactly right, Zeb. In my environmental science class, one of the things we do on a field trip is I take them to a Minidoka Dam, and we work our way down so they can understand the canal system, the drainage system, and how important that was to our our development of our community. And then we stop at the Minidoka Irrigation District, and they explain how it all comes together. But it's good information for them. They need to have it. And in another class, I take them out to the sugar factory because everybody drives by the sugar factory, and sugar factory is always very agreeable to give us tours out there. And it's a real eye opener when people go out and see how this dirty old beet comes in and goes out of this white crystalline sugar.
Absolutely. I guess maybe I'm partial to the equines because I think if it weren't for horses, none of the West would have ever been settled. And when you think about the canal system and the dredging and digging and everything else, talk about that a little bit because I think people should appreciate how much doggone hard work that was.
Well, that's the point we make when we take them on this tour of the irrigation system is it was all done with hand labor and horses and just a lot of hard work. And then when they see how far that canal runs level and the water actually runs downhill, I think what an engineering feat that was to do with just horses and hard work with hand labor. And look at the canals, how they've been lined with rock. We point that out. And I take them over here, and there's some of the equipment that they use to do the leveling and the moving of the soil over at the museum so they can see some of that and see that, it's not like getting a big caterpillar out there and some big earth mover pulling stuff around. It was small compared to what we have today, and they need to appreciate that.
Rick, has there ever been any study or any books, and I'm going to show some naivete here, but have they gone into the labor force and how many people and how many horses and all the equipment and everything that was necessary to do that?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. They're inside the museum, and I haven't looked at all of them, but Gary Shoresman has put together a number of books in there that are about the history of the area, and some of it's about the development of the Minidoka Project, and I don't know how much he tells in there. The others are about, the development out at Kemima at one time. They call it was arid acres when people went out there and they thought they were going to dry farm out there and found out that until the Homestead Act opened up and they had the deep wells, nobody could farm out there. There's not enough water.
Okay, but I guess it would be interesting, and you've got a cell phone call that we can't put on the air.
No, that's all right. I hope my wife will pick that up.
Okay. But, I wonder if people really appreciate the manpower and the work and the days and the dedication to doing and building something like this. But, my goodness, we think back about all the tools that they needed, and they were pretty archaic as compared to what they use today. I mean, those guys and gals were pretty sharp.
Yeah, they were very sharp with what they had, the things they had to work with, the tools they had to work with. And can you imagine surveying that all the way from Minidoka Dam down into the Burley area here and making it level?
Oh, my.
Knowing where the water was going to run. I just think it's amazing.
Well, now, what about the Minidoka County Museum? You're on the board of directors, and what are you trying to promote over there?
Well, right now, I would say that we're trying to promote our grand reopening and our 50th anniversary. The Minidoka County Historical Society was established in 1970, and so this is our 50th anniversary. And we've made some major changes over at the museum, and I think it's a good opportunity for everyone to come by and see the changes. We've got some new acquisitions. We've rearranged some of the displays. We've organized displays. The Rupert Depot got a facelift with a new paint job inside and out, and we reorganized some of the displays in there, and we're just trying to make everything a little more friendly and enticing, and at the same time we've also cut down on it. We found that we have a lot of duplicates, and we've cut down on some stuff. So as part of the grand reopening, we're having a yard sale.
Okay.
And the yard sale has a lot of just a lot of things that we found that we have 4 and 5 of, or something that doesn't exactly fit with the museum. We're looking at an accumulation of things from over the 50 years, and so we've had a chance the last 6 months to kind of sort through things, and that's why we're having this yard sale.
Okay, so now the yard sale. Give us all the particulars about that. When, where, how, what hours, etc.
Okay, the yard sale and the grand reopening in our 50th anniversary will be July 17th and 18th, from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. And we're going to be serving hot dogs, pop, chips, and cotton candy. All free to anybody that comes out there and looks at the museum, participates in yard sale.
You know, that cotton candy on a day that might hit 90 degrees, boy, that's going to be fun getting in that brand new pickup, isn't it?
That's going to be great. I like to send everybody home with a big thing of cotton candy with the kids. You know, that's what I do with my grandkids, send them home with something sticky.
There you go. You know, when you talk about 50-year anniversary, that's when you and I met was 50 years ago, buddy.
Yeah, don't remind me. Yeah, that's about right, isn't it?
What will people...
Quite 50, but...
It was pretty darn close. I came out here in 1969, and I met you shortly thereafter at the college, and holy smokes, there's been a lot of things take place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there has. The college has grown, everything. The area of the counties, I've never seen agriculture grow so much, and the processing industries that have come in here, and the dairy industry, it just blows me away how much that has changed over that time.
Rick, let me ask you about that. I had I call him a gentleman, but I'm being more than polite. He wasn't on my program earlier this year back at the end of January, and he was one of these advocates that said we should all do away with American agriculture and import our food. And boy, him and I got into a very spirited debate, not a very friendly debate, because I've maintained, and I've said this on the air many times, a country that can't feed itself is a country that's going to be subservient to every other nation and be dominated by every other nation. Would you agree with that?
I would absolutely agree with that. I think if we look back in history, our agricultural ability helped us win 2 world wars. We have, right now, what is it, less than 2% of the people produce the food, so the rest of the population can enjoy doing some other things. Our agriculture, some people, there's room for every type of agriculture. Some people, they like small scale, there's room for that. But in order to feed people, and I think right now we're at one farmer is able to feed 166 other people with in terms of production. I just think it's remarkable, and it's what makes the country great, is being able to have that strong agricultural base. Without that, there isn't anything else.
Rick, what do you think the status of American agriculture is today? I mean, it's so expensive with the machinery and the land costs and everything else. What do you look at for the future for agriculture, whether it's in the San Joaquin Valley in California, Magic Valley here, back in Iowa? I mean, what are you looking at for the future?
Well, obviously, you're going to see a lot more technology come into streamline things into in places where we rely on labor. Technology is going to come in and change that. I'm thinking of milking cows. When I milk cows, I had a dealer valve milker I took around and put on each cow. And you go and look at some of these modern dairies now, and the milkers, they put themselves on. They're robotic milkers, and they wash the cows, and you feed the cows based on a chip implanted in their ears, knowing how much and know exactly how much they're producing. So I think the technology is going to affect everything. GPS, GIS, and how we can, we've been criticized sometimes for the fertilizer and the pesticides we've used, but at the same time, we now have the tools to go in and be exact with where we put the fertilizer and how much we put in and how much pesticide we use. And so that to me is the biggest change that's going to continue in agriculture. And to me, it's made it so that it's better, we're safer, and we're more productive.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that the country, as a country, is transitioning with more respect to agriculture in this country?
That's a tough one. Sometimes I wonder. I see how I have we run a little Facebook page with what I do with the books I work on, and it's called Ag 101. And on that Facebook page, I just kind of put out some general information of what this is what, like creep feeding. What is creep feeding? What is GPS? What's a baler? And over the course of 7 years, we have 106,000 people about that go to that Facebook page for this information. And it's just Agri 101. It's basic information. And the interesting thing is sometimes there are people who are very critical of what we put out there, and it goes on. Sometimes animal rights people get in there and very critical. But as I've watched the page, I thought about moderating or taking names off or shutting them down. Usually there's somebody that comes on and it's self-moderated. Somebody comes on and says, no, you're all wrong, and so I haven't worried about it too much. But it is interesting. There are some real critics out there.
Mm-hmm. Rick, I want to tie this all back into the fact that the Minidoka County Museum is absolutely a real look into the past as to what agriculture was and how it functioned, and you folks are doing a lot to keep history alive and well over there so we can learn from the past and go on into the future. And again, you've got a great big fundraiser, the yard sale coming up. Give us the dates and the times one more time, please.
Okay, it's July the 17th and 18th from 8 in the morning till 3 p.m. I would encourage you to get there early. We're going to have, we'll serve some food there that people can have for free. We have, I can just list some of the things we've got. We've got some old sewing machines. We've got some goose and duck decoys. Tons of old bottles. If you like decorative bottles, we've got a bunch of those. We have a number of books that were over the years donated to libraries, some very old ones, and some of the, we just decided we weren't really a library. We've kept the books that relate to the history of Minidoka County, but we've got a bunch of books. We have, if you're interested in yard art, we got some of the old farm equipment. That's one of the first things I do is I take my students out there to see that farm equipment. But we've got some old farm equipment you could use for yard art. We've got an old potato cultivator. We've got a sulky plow. We've got a leveling blade. I call them a Fresno. And we've got a beet puller and several of those. Single row one, farmers raising beets with single row beet puller. Can you imagine that?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, everything has a suggested price on it, but we're open to a donation to the museum. You just tell us what you think it's worth, and we'll go. We want to have a little bit of money to do some renovation there at the museum. We've got the barracks that we brought in, the World War II barracks we're going to renovate, and we've got an old blacksmith shop that we've got tools to put in, but we need to renovate the blacksmith shop.
Absolutely.
So that's where the money's going if you donate to this yard sale.
All right. Well, I want to tell you, first and foremost, it's been a treat to talk to you again on the radio. Man, you're a great guy. And this is Rick Parker, one of the board of directors of the Minidoka County Museum. And, Rick, I'm going to ask you to please send me a little public service written up about the fundraiser. I'll keep plugging it on the air, and maybe we can get you back again for a shorter version of our phone call before that takes place. How about that?
All right, that sounds great, Zep, and I will get something to you. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and it is good to reconnect after a number of years.
A couple of old graybeards sitting here talking to each other, right?
Yep.
All right. Rick Parker, God bless you, man, and I mean that. Thanks so much for being on the program this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you, Zach.
All right, sir. Great guy, and I mean that. I've known him for a long, long time and have the utmost respect for him, and that's Rick Parker with the Minidoka County Museum. Thank you very much. Weather forecast. I just happen to have that next. And the weather brought to you this hour by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They are the professionals when it comes to accounting services for the entirety of the Minnecash area and beyond for over 50 years. Oh my. Tax return preparation, the best. Tax planning, along with financial statement preparation, retirement planning, all of this and so much more. And 2 locations to serve you, 1710 Overland Avenue in Burley and 625th Street in Rupert. They know and they can help you, the professionals. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like sunshine and warmer temperatures for the rest of the weekend into the 4th of July weekend. Here's a look at our weather forecast. For today, mostly sunny skies, a little bit of a breeze. We are expecting a high of 80. Tonight, nice and clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit out of the south and could gust up to 20 miles an hour. expecting a high of 87, partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 55. By Independence Day Saturday, sunny skies, high close to 90, then looks like mid-80s for Sunday and Monday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and appreciate it. And the professionals, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Accounting services serving you, your family, and your business. Once again, I want you to get a hold of them. Offices in Burley at 1710 Overland Avenue and in Rupert at 620 Fifth Street. Again, they know and can help you. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Holy moly, big weekend. And, of course, it's Independence Day weekend with the 4th of July celebration, of course, on Saturday. Be careful, be safe, be sane out there, if you would. And if you are hungry, what a segue, and starving to death, don't forget these locations. How about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley? Oh, my goodness, they got the new kids' meal, chicken nuggets, half small fry, and a 12-ounce drink. Oh my goodness, they got corn dogs, they've got everything. And don't forget, they've got that famous Farmer Brown burger. I love it. And the lemon freezes and the orange freezes. Oh, what a way to celebrate summer at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And they're going to be closed on the 4th of July. Don't forget, too, we're going to move over to Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley. And they're back to normal. And they're going to be closed on the 4th of July, but every other day they're there to serve you. And what a great place to go have coffee in the morning with a breakfast burrito. Knock your Tony Llamas off. Delicious. Scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce on a tortilla shell. Woo! It is good eating. And don't forget all their menu choices. Absolutely great at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Now let's move over to not one, but two locations of burgers, etc. at 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness sakes, fish and shrimp and halibut baskets. Have one for the halibut. And don't forget corn dogs and burritos for only $1.29 and all the burgers and all the sandwiches. Oh, my goodness. And the nice people, really nice people serving you. And they're going to be open on the 4th of July, but closing at about 10 o'clock at night. Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Now, let's take a look at Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh, my goodness. Tasty steaks like the tender filet, the ribeye, the tasty sirloin. Oh, good eating on the steaks. Patios open, weather permitting, live music on the weekends. Oh, my goodness. They've got cupcakes. They've got all kinds of menu choices. Great people. They're going to be closed so their staff can celebrate on the 4th of July, but then they're open Monday to Saturday, 11 to 9. Don't forget Steve-O's in Hayburn. And those are a lot of great places to go eat when you're hungry and starving to death. I am. This is the great Independence Day weekend, 4th of July. We have got so much to be thankful for, and I urge you, put your flags up with pride, the red, white, and blue, and thank God that you live here in the United States of America. Absolutely. Sean has been very helpful over at the studio to come up with some patriotic music as we end each hour this morning and take us up to CBS News. And before we get to that song, I want to remind everybody that next hour, we're going to have the Cassia County School Days. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. James Shank, will be on the program. Then we're going to have at 10:23 a business salute with the chairman of the Rupert 4th of July Committee, and that's Jason Gibbons. And at 10:32 this morning, an old friend that we're so glad is back, healthy, and doing everything again, and that's Senator Kelly Anthon. It's a treat to have him back. back. He was scaring us for a little bit, but he's back healthy again, and we just absolutely want to thank him for taking part of our program a little bit later on this morning. Right now, I'm ready for some patriotic music for this 4th of July celebration. Sean, take it away. Oh, good morning again on this preview leading us up to Independence Day weekend, Saturday, of course, the 4th of July. Morning, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and they're getting you ready to hit the road with the best of tires and service for your vehicle. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. And don't forget to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Want to also encourage seniors, listen to me a minute. Stop what you're doing and pay attention for a second. Have you called Greystone Crossing Senior Living and checked out the beautiful facility for you? It's a beautiful 12-bedroom home that furnishes 3 meals a day, snacks, housekeeping, local transportation, all of this. And it's, like I said, brand spanking new and beautiful. Please call and find out where you could move and be with your friends in just an enjoyable time daily. Matt and Kelly Wiggins are the owners, and they'd be happy to set up an appointment for you to see the facility if you'll call them at 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979, and that's Greystone Crossing Senior Living on 21st Street, just a mile east of Walmart. You give them a call today. Want to also remind you, too, about our friends at 7K Metals. What is 7K Metals? Well, let me tell you something. I was introduced to them about 2-3 months ago, and you can help yourself build your financial security and future with silver purchases. That's right, sent right to you at your home. Absolutely, this is a great saving opportunity for you and a very valued treasure for your loved ones in the future. Don't forget, give a call to my friends Lon Hardy at 312-8699 and Sharon at 430-3259. Tell them I told you to call. They'll share all the information about silver purchases with 7K Metals. Right now, let's go to the phone line on this Thursday for our Cassia County School Days, and we're very fortunate to have the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. James Shank. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Great. Looking forward to an Independence Day weekend and all the amenities tied to it. I wish you a happy one just the same.
And you too.
It's going to be great. The weather's going to be great and everything, but we draw closer and closer to the school year. And Dr. Shank, I don't pull any punches on this program. I'm going to be very blunt. The virus isn't going to go away. We're not going to see the coronavirus pack its bags and leave Dodge City on a flight to Taiwan someplace. It's going to be here with us for until we get a vaccination program that might minimize it. But we've got to get our kids back in school. We've got to get them back into the educational cycle and not be left out in the cold. If you think I'm wrong, tell me.
Deb, you're right on target, and I like your example. And coronavirus isn't going to pack up and take off on a plane. It's going to be around just like other viruses, so we have to learn to deal with it. And a vaccine may come along soon, we hope, and that will, of course, put us in a different type of situation than we are without one. But our plan in Cassia County School District is to open school unless we're told that we can't. And so we're looking for those factors, those mitigations that we can do that will allow us to operate the way that we always have. That's our goal.
Well, I've always maintained that you can't run away from something that always is going to keep continually encroaching upon your life. You can't live in the what ifs. You have to live in the what is. And we have to live with this thing. We have to educate our kids. They have to get a decent education because they're growing and going out into the world, and we can't hide in a bubble.
That's correct. I've spent 30 years working to improve education, and we want to get better every year. We want to serve our kids a world-class education, and it's very, very difficult to try to live in a world of what-ifs. What do we do with this? What do we do with that? And, we need to press forward and figure out how to continue our goals and making sure our students are achieving, growing every day, so that they're prepared to be able to enter society and deal with everything that they have that's coming towards them.
So what about now, Dr. Shank? I mean, getting ready, preparation for the new school year. Where are you as far as being on target?
Okay, so our target date to open is August 24th, and right now, we've been more or less just stating that our intent is to start school, and we're ready to start school as is normal right now. We're working to hire staff. There's always a need to be looking at hiring staff, but we'll meet on July 14th to see where it is we are. And we've got a committee that we're going to put together and try to figure out for certain to make sure that people feel safe when they come into the schools. But as far as schedules, all of these things, they're ready to go as they normally would be. And it's just determining whether or not we'll be able to go full day, all day with all of the children, or if we need to have some sort of a modified day, modified schedule, which we don't necessarily want to do. But if we end up in a split session or a type of situation, that would be perhaps an answer to what it is that we might not be able to do.
Dr. Shank, I know I'm going to show my prejudice for one segment of our schools that I think sometimes is overlooked, and that's, of course, sporting events and athletic activities, football, cross-country, basketball, baseball, etc. These are all a major part in growing up and growing through the school, the high school, on into college. What about the athletic programs for the fall?
Well, I agree. Athletics have a cultural piece in our growing up and going to school. It's an important thing. Kids learn different types of lessons, participating in activities, and we want to continue to do that. So our goal right now is to press forward with that. We want our kids to be able to participate. We've been working through a summer program that helped stage in how kids can participate. But right now, we're not announcing any schedule cancellations, anything in terms of that would not allow us to proceed forward. I think some of it is maybe if there's a need, and I want to say if, and of course we're projecting again, but if there's a need to look at the size of the crowds, how it is that works, we'll try to figure that out. But right now, we want our kids to be able to participate. It's a huge missing piece that was left out in the spring.
Yes.
Because we were in soft closure.
I want to talk a little bit about the crowds, etc. I mean, let's all use a little common sense. If we're going to go to a football game, let's sit together with masks on and try to avoid the shaking of hands and everything. But you know what? This, like I said earlier, the virus is not going to go away. There was a presumption by major medical scientists 2 days ago in the news that virtually everyone in this country is going to be exposed to it and possibly come down with it with some degree. So we've still got to live our lives, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah, I agree. I preface most every time, if required, if there's something that we have to do. And I understand that we've got to get back together. We've got to get to normal. We've got to understand that there is a risk that's out there. Accept that risk and work through it. But crowd size and these sorts of things are something that we'll be looking at as we gear up for a football season beginning.
Yes. And I would say this, and earlier this morning I had a nice little visit with Debbie Critchfield, and both of us agree that if you, as a parent, notice that your kids are sick or not feeling well, keep them home. Don't send them to school to infect everybody else. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's the first line of defense. If you're not sick and not well, you stay home. You don't go out and spread whatever it is that you might have to other people. That's common sense, and of course that's something that we'll be emphasizing this fall. Is if you're ill, you stay home, and that's just one of those things. It's curious to me this issue with masks and wearing of masks, and some states are requiring it that you have to have a mask when you're out in public or in certain places, and it's a curious thing as the science and the contradictions that are within the science and what that really does. And I've been watching that closely to see if those masks really do what it is that they think that they're doing. And I read a piece the other day that the virus itself is so small that it can penetrate those fabrics that those things are made of.
Yes.
The more thin ones quite easily. And that's something that is a factor in what it is that we're trying to discuss and determine whether or not that's really going to be effective or not.
Absolutely. I've kind of glossed over certain issues and points, and I want to turn the ball over to you in the backcourt and let you run with it a little bit. What else do you have for the opening of the school year?
What else do we have? In terms of activities or curriculum or
preparation,
or just different types of what school might look like.
Yeah, let's just talk about preparation. What about the teachers? What about the staff, all the personnel? I mean, you said everything is ready to go. What about the teachers? Let's talk a little bit about them.
Okay, well, typically we would be doing quite a bit of professional development in August, and so we have plans to do that the same. We'll bring people in. We'll have some trainings, so that's the case there. We have teachers that have been doing online for the last several months, but they're on break now. We hope that that's not something that we have to go to. But people are right now. They're just on their typical break. If there's a training that they wanted to attend, we would most likely support that. But it has to be in state right now. We're not traveling out of state.
Right.
We've got some things coming up in August that we're going to bring our admin team to up in Boise. And so that's kind of a normalization, which really what it is that we want to do. We have our what we call symposium that starts at the beginning of the year, and we've got plans laid out for that. So it's bring them back, celebrate that we're starting up, and start communicating with our public that this is what school's going to look like, and go from there.
Absolutely. Dr. Shank, we have a caller with a question or a comment. Quickly, caller, I've got 2 minutes left, real fast.
Yeah, how is the school district going to get paid if you don't have the kids' behinds in their seat in school?
Would you answer that, Dr. Shank?
Could you repeat that, Deb?
I think he said, how is the school going to be paid if the kids are not in the school desk seat?
Well, we're paid by attendance. So when kids are in session, and that's one way to look at it, is like last spring, we were in session based upon at-home delivery. And it's based upon attendance, so we factor that. But our intent is, unless required differently, and I want to reemphasize that, but unless required differently, our intent is to be in school.
Good.
So therefore, if the kids are in school and they're in attendance, those dollars follow the student.
Absolutely.
That we're funded.
Dr. Shank, you've always been straightforward on this program, and we really appreciate it. Cassia County School Days, and I, for one, say, attaboy. Keep going, keep rolling, and I hope that everything goes well to start the 2020 school year. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you, Zeb.
All right, take care. Thank you, sir. Happy 4th of July to you. Thank you much. Okay, let me see where I'm at here. Oh, yes, we got to tell you what's going on over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. My, have you been in there? They've got all the Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses. What a selection. Having a hard time sleeping at night, Bunky? Well, let me tell you, you can cure that problem because they've got mattresses for a great night's sleep at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Oh, you need to get comfy watching your favorite TV show. Well, they've got all the recliners. My goodness sakes, they've got recliner after recliner. You just go in and try one on. They've got them for tall people, short people, skinny people, and people like me. So you be sure and go into Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley for the beautification and the comfortization of your home. They are waiting to serve you at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. May we please, Sean, have a good word quickly for the Silver State Stampede.
The thunder of hooves, the thrill of an 8-second ride, and all the fun of a PRCA rodeo is at your fingertips this July 10, 11, and 12 when the Silver State Stampede makes its way to the Elko County Fairgrounds. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders, mini bull riders, Old West bronc riders, mutton busting, and the always popular Ring of Fear. A family day Sunday evening, and tough enough to wear pink on Saturday. Gates open all 3 days at 4 p.m., and you can dance the night away on Friday and Saturday to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. Family entertainment at its best with the 2020 Silver State Stampede. Silver State Stampede will be following all of the Nevada Governor's directives, Nevada United Roadmap to Recovery Plan, as well as the CDC guidelines. The safety of everyone is our top priority.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And right now, let's go to the phone line and find out all about the great celebration over in Rupert for Independence Day and the Rupert 4th of July celebration. Here's Jason Gibbons. Good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Zeb?
Oh, I tell you what, I'm enjoying this weather change to where it's getting back to normal and sunshine and blue skies. And I heard nothing but great reports about the first couple of days of your 4th of July activities. Bring us up to speed on what's been happening so far.
Oh, man, it's been great. Our opening night on Tuesday was just fantastic. We got a great band, Yagertown. They're a Southern Utah band, but they're out of Nashville. And they've had a great show. Everything that I heard and everybody that I talked to just loved them. And then the fireworks, even though the fire department had a little issue beforehand with getting called out on a call, man, they just did a great job, got it all put together, barely even later than what they anticipated. They just did a great show. I just can't say enough about the Rupert Fire Department and everything that they did for the fireworks show. And then last night, had some more great entertainment, had another good crowd. Man, it's just been great. People have come out and supported it, and we've just been so happy with it.
I have heard from sources. I was talking to Penny Main at the Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce earlier this morning, and she said the patriotic program and the music and the atmosphere over there is fantastic.
Oh, it was just great. The patriotic program was just amazing. It was awesome. They did a great job putting that together. They had, just some really neat things this year. Had a little music tribute from New York to Georgia on My Mind to Santa Fe to, just all kinds of music and patriotic stuff. We included some Hispanic culture things in it, trying to really include our Hispanic population in our community. It was just great. It was just fantastic.
Well, now, tell us about what's going on today. I mean, right now, leading up to this evening and tomorrow, and then with the culmination of the parade on Saturday. Bring us up to speed.
All right. So for today, we have the food booths that are open. Tonight, we will start with our local entertainment again at 6 o'clock. And then tonight, we have a band out of Kimberly called Kimberly Road. They were here last year, and people just enjoyed them so much that we just kept getting all kinds of comments asking them for them to come back. So we invited them back tonight. So we'll be having them on the square. Tonight out at the fairgrounds is the mutton busting competition. I understand that the mutton busting is all full and kids have signed up, and so we're looking forward to that. That'll be a fun event tonight out at the fairgrounds. And then tomorrow, food booths open again. We have the band called the Salamanders out of Salt Lake. We've had them, it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago that they came, but they're a real high-energy band, playing all kinds of music from the 50s, 60s to current. They just had to do a great job mixing all kinds of variety of music. And then tomorrow night's the lawnmower races out at the fairgrounds as well. And then Saturday morning, the parade at 11 o'clock, and we've We've got a new parade route this year. We've expanded it, trying to give opportunities for people to spread out a little and social distance as much as they can. And so we're looking forward to that and just culminating the biggest 4th of July celebration in the state. It's just been great.
You know, Jason, I was going to ask you, I heard a rumor that you had developed a pit crew and also took your John Deere lawnmower and made it high-powered with jet fuel, and that you personally are going to be in the Firecracker 500. Is that right?
No, I haven't heard that. I haven't done anything myself, but that would sure be fun. I've been out and watched it several times, and it's a great show.
Well, maybe if you could, you mentioned there's been a change in the parade route. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Could you give us visually, so we can think about it, what the route is?
You bet. So in conjunction, in meeting with the city and the city's police department, we've just decided that the residential area where we've lined up the parade in the past, we've just outgrown it. And it just takes up so many city blocks and disrupts all that residential area. So we decided to change it this year. So our lineup this year will be on Scott Avenue, which is basically from where the Maverick is, and then going north to Kelly Bean. That road there is the lineup road where people will line up for the parade. And then the parade will start at the MIA-POW Tribute Park, where the flag is at half-staff. That's where it will start. It will go north from there. It'll go north past 8th Street and then up and around Lincoln Park. So we've added another park besides the square that people can spread out and sit on the grass and watch the parade. It'll go around 3 sides of Lincoln Park, back to 8th Street. It'll go west on 8th Street for 1 block, and then it'll go south, past the library, past the water tower, and it'll go around the square in the opposite direction that it has in the past. It'll go around 3 sides of the square up to the Drift Inn, and then it'll continue to go north on the regular route, past the Gathering Place, past City Hall, down west past the fire department, and then north past the courthouse, and then straight out 8th Street like normal.
Oh, my goodness sakes.
We've taken out about 2 blocks, but we've added 10 more.
Okay. There's going to be a lot of people with sore feet. Jason, we've got a caller quick with a comment. I've only got a minute left, so caller, quickly, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Got a quick question. For those of us who are new to the area, what the heck is mutton busting? Thank you.
Well, quickly, Jason, I'll let you handle that, and then I've got to take a break. But go ahead and tell everybody what mutton busting is.
All right, mutton busting is little kids riding sheep. Kind of like a rodeo.
Yep.
But it's little kids, and we've set an age limit and a size limit so that they're not too big for the sheep. But they get on a sheep, and they hold on, and they try and ride it for the 8 seconds, and they get judged just like in a rodeo.
There you go. That was excellent. You did a great job. The chairman...
You're coming from a rodeo guy.
Well, I tell you what, I passed the buck over to you because it's your event, and you did a great job. Chairman of the Rupert 4th of July celebration, and I'll tell you what, Jason Gibbons, I appreciate what you did, and I just hope everything goes well the rest of the weekend. God bless you, man. Thanks for being on the program.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. They have a lot of fun over there. Let me tell you, if you've never been a part of what I think is a part of Americana, right there in Rupert for the 4th of July celebration, and thank a lot of those folks. Good people having a great time and sharing it with you. We're going to send this back over to our main studios, and then we're going to come back with an old friend of ours that's back, feeling better, and we're tickled to death to have him on the program. We'll introduce him in a few minutes. Take it away, Sean.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
You know, I was very, very concerned when I heard that this next gentleman was having some health problems, and I know a lot of people were keeping him in their thoughts and prayers, and it worked. All those prayers helped. Here he is, back on the air, sounding vibrant and healthy. Senator Kelly Anthon, God bless you, man. Good to have you back.
Well, thank you, Zeb, and good morning to you. And the prayers did work. And I also have to say that it didn't hurt that we have some good hospitals around here. And I spent a little time in Minneapolis and CHAZ hospitals, and we're pretty fortunate to have what we have.
Well, we're just glad to hear you back on the radio, and you're a senator that we cannot afford to have in Siberia someplace. We got to have you right back here. Thank you. Kelly, this is the Independence Day weekend, 4th of July on Saturday. We've got so much in this country to be thankful for. I've urged everybody to put their flags up and thank God. Get on your knees for a little bit and thank God you live in the United States, the greatest country ever. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's right. And not only the greatest country ever, but I do believe, and maybe I'm just biased, but if you look around the entire world, and some of us have seen some of the world, what you figure out in a hurry is that Idaho is probably the best place in the world to live, to raise a family, to do business. We're very, very blessed. I think that sometimes we watch the television and we think that we're the last bastion of that. But I really, truly believe that as you go through this great country of ours, you're going to find out that there are many, many communities like ours who are patriotic, who still love this country, who are going to stand and fight for the Constitution. And this is a time that we really get to express it, and our community does.
Kelly, we're seeing a lot of turmoil in this country, and we're seeing a lot of factions and groups that claim to be dissatisfied with our Constitution and claim that they're going to change things in what they call a progressive attitude bent on a socialistic program. I, for one, don't want to see a change. I don't want to see this country change into a possible Venezuela, Cuba, etc. And it seems like I'm not listened to. What are your thoughts about the transition that's going on in this country?
Well, all we have to do, Zeb, is look at the facts. And the facts are that in the history of all humankind, there has never been a constitution that has survived like ours, a country that has prospered like ours. And if you want to talk about the systems that we have in place, whether it be capitalism, whether it be our system of law and justice, you go down the list, you're going to find out nobody in the history of humankind has ever been able to match it. And I don't think they ever will. I mean, we always have improvements to be made, but the framework, the Constitution, the backbone of our civilization here is unparalleled. It's what we call American exceptionalism. There is no doubt in my mind that this is the way we need to pursue. What we need to pursue is what we've done. I'm looking at Idaho, Zeb, as an example, too. I mean, we've gone through some rough spots these last few months, and we all have our complaints about them, and I do, too. But I found out yesterday that Idaho's revenues for the state of Idaho have come in. We've balanced our budget this year despite all that. And I think, how did we do that and other states haven't been able to do it? It's because we have these conservative principles and these ideas of take care of yourself and take care of your family. And some of these basic principles that you seem to think are lost in other places that still have some weight here. And that translates into good government, hopefully, and I think prosperity and the freedom that we enjoy.
Absolutely. You know, Kelly, I absolutely think that all the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the lives that have been given by your forefathers, mine, everyone's, for the preservation of this country in a capitalistic system with the best constitution ever written, why in the world are we kowtowing to those that want to loot, burn, and destroy? It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It makes no sense to me, and I hope that in Idaho we do not do that. And if I have anything to do with it, we will not do that. I mean, think of what's happening in some of our sister states that are very close to us. They're just letting people run downtown, set up their own shop, and in many cases murder people without any consequence. And while the local government authorities sit by and say, "Isn't this great?" This I will tell you frankly what this is. These are typical tactics of far left movements, of communist type movements. All you have to do is read your history; you'll see this. And we've got to take this opportunity to stand up for it, stand up against it, I should say. It's a real concern, Zeb, and we do not want that in Idaho. We don't want that anywhere in the United States. It's very bad for all of us.
Let me ask you this question, Kelly, and you've always been a straight shooter on this program, like I mentioned. But we need to reestablish pride in country. Pride. Our forefathers weren't perfect. None of them were. No human being ever has been perfect, and there's been shortfalls and shortcomings in every generation. But my goodness, they established the greatest country ever with Judeo-Christian principles, and now we've got people saying, well, we got to tear this down, tear that down, forget about this, get rid of that. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. You know, it reminds me of, Zeb, just to hear you say that, is I believe it was Ronald Reagan's farewell speech as he finished 2 terms of presidency. And I believe it was that speech. I could be wrong. But what he said was, you know, this starts at our own dinner table. If you want to think about how we reestablish that, it's going to have to take place in strong families that are sitting around the dinner table teaching the correct principles of freedom and the love of the Constitution and some of our history, because the fact of the matter is that in many pockets of the country, once you get out of your home, it's a whole other story. And we see this in higher education, a real secularization, and I guess that's okay so much as a rewriting of history in some of our higher education institutions and a taking on of a new agenda. And I have concerns even in Idaho that some of our higher education institutions are going to be partners with some of this thinking, and I don't want my taxpayers' money going to that, my own money or those who I represent.
As a senator that represents all the constituents in the state of Idaho, what would you tell people that might think or say, oh, well, that's over in Seattle, or, oh, well, that's in Madison or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Minneapolis or New York? I keep telling people every day on this program we can't be naive and we can't keep our eyes closed because it can happen here.
Well, it can happen here, and often when these kinds of things happen, it's because the good people are complacent. And so, you know, it's kind of cliche, but what I would say to people is get involved. You know, get involved. Make sure you're voting for good people. And I will tell you right now, the thing that gives me great confidence in the state of Idaho is I know who the legislators are. And I know you're going to have 1 or 2 that you don't like, or you might have a decision by 1 or 2 that you don't like. But on the whole, I truly believe that we have good people in the Idaho legislature. And I would say that about people on both sides of the aisle, by the way. It's not just Republicans. We have some good Democrats who are trying to do the right thing.
You know, Kelly, as a senator, and I know as a family man, and you do so much for the community, when you look at that red, white, and blue, that flag, the flag of the United States of America, as it will head down the street for that world-famous Rupert 4th of July parade on Saturday, what are your thoughts?
Well, you've kind of said it, Zeb. It reminds me not only of the freedoms that I enjoy, but I can't help but think of those who've given their lives. We should be thinking about this. We are on this cusp of losing the World War II generation completely. I still have my Uncle Fred, as you know, who was a World War II veteran who's alive, but they are few and far between. And I think back, and I say to myself, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago that fascism nearly took over the world. And so as I look at the flag, I think to myself, we have to stay vigilant, we have to keep working, and we got to recognize the sacrifices that have been made. If you don't, have any ownership in anything, you don't care about its upkeep. I mean, if you think about your own car, if you own it, you try to keep it up, for the most part. But that's how it is with the country. We need to teach our youth, and we as everyday citizens need to be absolutely tuned into the fact that we've had a very severe price paid so that we can do the things that we do on a daily basis.
Absolutely. I believe we have a caller with a comment. Quickly, we'll take that call. Caller, you're on the air.
Well, involvement with your elected officials is important, and there's not enough, and that's the reason why there's misunderstanding. And so, the more we interact with our local elected officials, Fred Wood, Scott Bedke, Kelly Anthon, the better off we're going to be, and then you guys are going to be more responsive to what we want, and there's not enough of it going on, not near enough. And speaking of what can happen here in Boise, the president of Boise State University is, she's risky business at best, and I guess they wanted to be politically correct up there, which scares the living hell out of me. And the mayor of Boise, she is left of Beater, who used to be the old mayor, and she has hired the Portland police chief to be the chief in Boise. I mean, if you've been to Portland lately, you know that he hasn't been able to do his job, and it's a mess. It's not coming; it's already here. I'll hang up.
Respond quickly, if you would, Kelly.
You bet. Real quickly. No, I appreciate that. I think he's right about being involved, and I try to keep an open door. I'll give you my cell phone number, whatever it takes. Because one of the things I don't really like is when I make a vote that upsets people without them having all the information. So I love to be able to explain, okay, here's why I voted the way I did. And almost, I think 100% of the time I've ever done that, people go, oh, okay, now I get it. So I appreciate that feedback and that interaction. And, as I said before, to respond to the caller, I have some concerns about our higher education institutions supporting what I think are leftist movements. I will fight all day long to end discrimination and stand up against racism and all that. But under the guise of that, I think we're seeing leftist activity in the United States.
Absolutely. Kelly, again, I reiterate, it's such a treat to have you. Caller, I'll tell you what, if you can keep it real short, less than 30 seconds, I'll put you on. Anything more than that, I've got to cut your call. Go ahead real fast.
Yes, sir. Mr. Antone, I called you about 3 years ago about the state of Idaho Highway District. When they redone that road between Hayburn and Rupert, they paved it, they painted it, and then they come and chip sealed over it a week later. And I couldn't find anything out about it. Now they just redone the one to Declo. They paved it, painted it, wasn't painted 3 or 4 days. Now they've chip sealed over top of that. That painting costs money. We need to find out in our budgets where we can cut waste. Thank you.
Real quick response, Kelly.
And real quick, Zeb, I agree with the caller. I mean, I think that there's this concern about safety, and that's why they're doing that. But it is, in my opinion, a waste.
Yeah.
And as you know, I work for the city of Rupert. I would never paint a road and then 2 days later chip seal over that, because that is a waste of taxpayer money.
Absolutely. Kelly, God bless you, and it's such a treat to have you back on the air. Senator Kelly Anthon, to your family and all the people that are going to gather with you this weekend for Independence Day on the 4th of July, God's blessings, and please come back soon.
All the listeners.
Thank you very much. Well, let's get to the weather real quick, but before we have the weather, I want to mention Edith's Cafe at 144 East Highway 81 in Burley, right across from the golf course, and you know the great menu choices. You know all about the great sandwiches, the steak sandwiches, the burgers, the hot chili hot dogs, all the steaks and all the dinner specials, all the desserts like the peach cobbler a la mode. Oh my, it is good eating at Edith's Cafe. They're going to be closed on the 4th of July. They want a day off, too, with their families. But then after that, stop in. They're open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 9 at Edith's Cafe, 144 East Highway 81 in Burley. You stop in for some great food. You will appreciate it. Right now, let's go to the weather quickly. And the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. You can go to their website and see and find out about all the delicious meats for you and your family and every occasion at scarrowsmeats.com. Don't forget Don Scarrow and the crew with all the bratwurst and the bacons and the hams and the pork chops and the tri-tips. Oh, the list goes on at Scarrow's Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like sunshine and warmer temperatures for the rest of the weekend into the 4th of July weekend. Here's a look at our weather forecast. For today, mostly sunny skies, a little bit of a breeze. We are expecting a high of 80 tonight, nice and clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit out of the south and could gust up to 20 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 87, partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 55. By Independence Day Saturday, sunny skies, high close to 90, then looks like mid-80s for Sunday and Monday. That's look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Rain.
Thank you, Gina. I'm brought to everybody by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrow's Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrow's Meats. Want to give a great big shout out and say, boy, it's good to have you back full time right here on the program, and that's our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh my goodness, the best of tires, you know that, for all the different driving that you need for your vehicles, your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers. Now's the time to get ready for summer travel. If you haven't already, stop in and see them before this big weekend. Better get in there today. And the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries, it's all there for you. But above all, it's the best of service in a safe, clean environment, all 7 locations serving you, with James and Buell, Dan on Pole Line in Twin Falls, Lane and Rupert, Mike and Jerome, the Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, the Twist family in Paul, and Trent on Overland in Burley. And excellent on the farm, on the dairy service, too, for your tire needs. You get a hold of them today, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I have an excerpt of a song that was on John Wayne's album, and I'm going to ask over at Sean at the studio, what is the song that we're going to play in just a moment, Sean? Do you know the title of that?
America the Good.
Okay. I have another excerpt that I'm going to read, and then we'll play that song. And if you'll bear with me just a moment, this is from the album America, Why I Love Her, that was produced in 1977, and John Wayne made this statement. So bear with me just a moment, please. Face the flag, son, and face reality. Our strengths and our freedoms are based in unity. The flag is but a symbol, son, of the world's greatest nation. And as long as it keeps flying, there's cause for celebration. So do what you've got to do, but always keep in mind, a lot of people believe in peace, but there are the other kind. If we want to keep these freedoms, we may have to fight again. God forbid, but if we do, let's always fight to win. For the fate of a loser is futile and it's bare. No love, no peace, just misery and despair. Face the flag, son, and thank God it's still there. Sean, if you would, please. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Deanne and I, we would like to extend to you and your family a very safe, sane weekend, of course, with the Independence Day 4th of July celebration. And remember, take the time to bow down, thank the good Lord for all of our blessings, and enjoy this, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. Sean, thank you for all your help, and I'll let you take it away. Thank you so much.